started getting back into the Total War games recently, eliciting some fond memories of my childhood. I was enjoying building up my nation and empire, reclaiming the Americas for the UK, when I came across a situation I'm sure you're all too familiar with if you played these games. A seemingly unwinnable battle. Faced with the prospect of losing my whole army so far away from the nearest recruitment center, I suddenly remembered a tried and true method that has saved me countless times in the past. Corner scumming. If you're not familiar with this tactic, it involves shamelessly exploiting the boundaries of the battlefield, tucking your armies in the corner, and forcing the enemy to have to come at you head on. This eliminates any risk of you being outflanked by cavalry or the superior numbers of the enemy. It basically turns your army into a reenactment of Leonidas' 300 Spartans. Is it exploiting the game? Of course it is. Without the boundaries on the map, the enemy would just be able to run around the sides of your lines. But now they can't do that. They're forced to attack you head on, which the AI is dumb enough to do usually, especially if you're outnumbered. The great thing about doing this though is that the enemies outnumbering you usually doesn't matter. You're forcing them into a one-on-one style battle, which if you have superior units, you'll usually win. The army compositions that work best with this are usually pikemen or heavy infantry that will be able to beat most other units in a head-to-head. And of course having archers or ranged units always helps. If you have siege equipment or especially cannons like in Empire, even better. To pull off this strat, you simply position your pikes at the front like this, stretching them across from one side of the map to the other, letting the enemy impale themselves, never actually being able to really hurt your men. All the while your archers can pour arrows into them as they charge at you. So they're either getting stabbed by a short wooden stick or a really long one. The main issue you're going to run into is enemy ranged units that can just sit back out of range of your own and pepper your frontline infantry with arrows or other projectiles. You can either move your own archers forward to try and counter them, or use my preferred method and just always keep some cavalry on your flanks to scare them away. Cavalry also pair with this strat quite nicely, as you can use them from the start of the battle to weaken the enemy bit by bit as they move across the entire map to get to your army, or you can just use them to chase those pesky range units away. Some combination of this is usually enough to secure me a dub, even in the most dubious of circumstances. Although you won't feel good about it afterwards. There's no honor in this tactic, if you can even really call it that, but it is effective and it can save you in a pinch. Sometimes though, not even all the cheesy, exploity, cheating strats in the world will protect you from the hordes of Gauls, Mongols, or French that threaten your army. And this is where the final failsafe of this strategy comes in.
We must fight to run away. Aye!
Yep, I'm talking about retreating. If you think the battle's going to be too costly or the tide is just starting to turn against you, you can simply order your troops to withdraw, and given your close proximity to the borders of the map, you can usually do so with minimal losses. That being said, if you've found this video, you've probably already retreated once, and defeat would mean your entire army is lost, so now you're here desperately googling how to win an unwinnable battle. Just remember though, sometimes even a defeat can be a victory if you leave the enemy so weakened that they can't continue to attack you. So in that case, just have a valiant last stand. Fight to the final man and give him a battle even Leonidas will be proud of. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something. That's why we're all here, right? I also have a bunch of other videos too, not just on this game, but on Hearts of Iron and others, so why not check them out here? Also, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.